Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 176 today, and on our final installment of the Situate Stress Month videos that we've been making in the month of April, as it is Situate Stress Month, and we are just trying to share different ways to celebrate that, different ways to kind of embrace it, maybe get out of your comfort zone, maybe actually allow yourself permission to get back into your comfort zone if you're forcing yourself to pump out so many things for very specific reasons. Just give yourself the permission to love what you do and let it lull you into some state of calm.
Now we know that you're watching this on Friday, and that will be the 2nd, but we record these on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is the last day of the month.
Yep, and we are just sharing with you just, different things that we, as yarn crafters, love to be able to just, share, impart, just celebrate, as this is what it's supposed to be about. Yeah. It's just supposed to be fun, creative, and a stress-free environment. But sometimes we set expectations for ourselves. We are trying to push out of our comfort zones. Sometimes we're trying to do, and those are fine. But it's the whole having balance. It's the whole knowing when it's not working, knowing when to relax, knowing when to push forward. Sometimes you need to know when and when not to open that door,
or to challenge yourself. See if you can do something in a time zone or time limit or whatever, like finishing a blanket. And like I'm going off my own thing here, but wanting to finish the blanket by the end of this series. And
yeah,
so
it's just one of those things where in my own personal journey, I set forth very specific expectations of myself that bring me joy, that bring me a creative spirit, such as making dolls, making toys, and doing very specific miniature stuff, realistic stuff.
Yes.
I love doing that stuff, but there's a time to also just enjoy it for the sake of enjoying it, just doing things just for the sake of the rhythm and the way that it creates peace. Yeah. And that's what I meant to say. Just the whole knowing when to open a door and when to leave it shut. Just knowing when it is time. And part of me knows that based off of the seasons of the year, I have different things that I get done for Christmas seasons, birthday seasons, holiday seasons, and even just for now in the month of April, it's just meant to be fun. It's just meant to be whatever inspires joy, whatever inspires creativity, whatever is just unique and something that you want to try. Or maybe this is your month where this is the time to set down any other thing that you would normally do and just try something new for yourself and see if you like it. Yeah. So we would like to share with you some of the things that we are just kind of either wrapping up with, such as my mom, and just a new way of crocheting that I've recently found that I would really like to just
try.
I want to try, but also I want to just kind of spark maybe an interest in you, because it is very fun, it's very adaptable, and I really think that you will enjoy it.
Now, that'll be fun too. We're going to do this a little differently. Now, if you notice the setting, we're back at my house. So I could not bring that blanket to Sarah's. It was much too big. And what I would like to share with you is that I have 2 more rows. One more solid and another rainbow bright row, and I'm done. So I will be done with it today, even though it's not going to be shown today, that it's complete. But you guys are going to get the idea, because we're going to take you into my bedroom. And I've already got it set out on my bed, and you're going to see the overhang. You're going to see how massive this thing is, and how it does fit the bed. And all I did was, when I first started, all I did was chain at the end of my bed. I chained until I had enough overhang on both sides, and then I started. And that's how I started. I didn't have a number in mind. I just did it to the length of what I wanted, and I started. So we're going to go position ourselves in the back bedroom, and you're going to see that in just a moment.
Yep, you'll see us there.
So this is the bed, and it's a queen size bed. I have been working on this for quite a few weeks now. So Sarah can show you that there is overhang on both sides, and that we have it all the way up to where the pillows would be, and it's good. It's a nice springy, summery single ply or single yarn at a time blanket, and it is going to be great. So have 2 more rows and it is complete. And we are back.
So yeah, no, it's very beautiful. It's very nice size.
Yeah.
You really had to commit to make this blanket.
And that's the whole thing. So even if you have to set yourself a challenge and say, I would like to get this done in so much time, and do a little bit every day to accomplish that goal. Like this week, I was like on it. I was just like, I want to finish it by the end of this series, and I'm going to work on this every night, and I'm going to make sure that there's several rows done every single night so that this thing gets completed. And I'm so glad to say I did.
I know.
So,
it's such an amazing accomplishment.
I know. And the only one that I had to go into a second skein for was the Rainbow Bright. The rest of them, I still have yarn for all of them.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I mean, they're balls maybe about this big, but I still have them, and
you can make pillows.
Yeah.
You can make.
So I can use the rest of those original skeins for something to go coordinate with the bed.
Yeah.
So I am really excited about this.
Pillow covers for your.
Or I can make a length size,
Or
like
yeah.
a body pillow, and just fill it in.
You could.
I could do something. So I'm looking forward to just figuring out what to do next. But yeah.
And you can always so like 2D flat, you can make crochet patches and decorate the blanket if you wanted to in different locations.
Yeah, it's
just endless. The creativity is endless. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And you have just the ability to keep going. And I just love that for you.
We had one of our subscribers send a pattern for a regular granny square too. So anybody who doesn't know how to do granny squares, it should be in this the comments. So
I saw this on a video. I meant to try to do some of this before this week, but it did not happen because I am very busy.
She's a busy mom.
Very busy. I have a lot of things going on right now, but I did figure out what it's called, and you'll see, I just printed it into Google search. I have it on images, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it's a very specific type of crocheting. It's called freeform crochet.
Okay.
And you're meant to have no pattern. You're meant to go from from one point in the middle, and you're just supposed to broaden yourself out. And you're supposed to just kind of use yarn as you go.
So like water ripples?
So you'll see that it's just kind of like Zendangles. Like, look at these blobs. Like, Mom, look at these blobs.
Okay, so Zentangles.
Yes. The first time I saw this, someone was very inspired by this person doing kind of like a tank top with all these kind of like random, just how random and how it could lay.
It looks like a maze.
Yes. And I saw someone make one for themselves.
Okay.
For their body, as a
Wow.
tank top, and it covered them, but it kind of was like laced up in the back.
Right.
Their own personal style, granted, but I find, look at these, they're kind of like rugs.
Oh yeah.
And they're just using up scraps. They're just going in every which way. They're just doing what they feel is natural and makes the most sense. Look at, even some people are making faces with these designs.
Oh.
They're,
I like the rabbit.
There's just so many different, a lot of people kind of like it, the whole freeform art kind of can be put as wall art. It kind of looks, it almost looks like coral. Oh, look at, someone even made a bird.
Yeah.
Some people make animal shapes. See, they just kind of go for it. But it's just they just keep going. They just don't let shape or limitations stop them. They just keep going. And I was inspired because my mom's an artist, and she used to draw like Zendangles. Is that what they're called?
Zentangles.
Zentangles. And you just kind of start and you just fill the page in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, for some people who might need the ability to kind of map it out on a piece of paper before they go into it, especially if they're used to a pattern, I kind of just showed how you can do that. I started right here, and I just took the time to make a shape that you can just continue to follow and build from, and I changed colors, and I just kept going. And I kept making different shapes, and you can bridge over them. And think about this, these can be chains, and every single time you're building up, that's a chain, and then you're just coming back on that chain before you find another spot, and you keep going. And then when you find a spot where you don't want to go back into that valley, you just chain across until you find another foundation chain to keep going from. And you can switch from single crochet to double crochet to triple crochet.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick with one type of stitch, and you learn to know when to increase, when you want to go around a shape, when you want to decrease to come in on a shape.
Yeah.
You just, and here's the thing.
It's kind of like a practice.
And on top of it, it's very forgiving, because anytime, especially if you want it to lay flat, if you lay it on a table and it's not working flat, you just pull it out. Right. And you keep figuring out what sort of stitches you have to do to make it lay flat.
Oh, yeah.
It's very forgiving. You can do what you want with it. And eventually, like I said, I kind of experimented, and as I was doing it, I realized eventually you can round it off. You can make it a much more cohesive shape at the end, where it feels like it's not crazy, especially if you need to start creating it to being much more blocked off and much more contained. If you want to add it to something, or use it in something, or make it like a placemat, make it like a table runner, make it like you can hang it up, or have it as a piece for something that you're making in a piece of clothing or whatever. It's very adaptable. It's very fun. It could be a patch on your clothing if you need to cover a hole in your jeans. You can just do whatever you want, and it can use scraps up.
That is awesome. A scrap buster.
It's so adaptable, and I saw people making clothes out of it. I saw people making art out of it. I saw people just having a whole bunch of fun. Just write it in. It's just called Freeform Crochet, and you can do whatever you want. And it's adaptable. You can go from thicker yarns to thinner yarns to whatever you want, because it's just supposed to be whatever it turns out to be in the end. You do not have to be limited. You can go from different stitches to this, to that, the other thing. You can change your hook. You can just see how big it gets, how small it gets. You can make a whole bunch of them and then link them together and keep going. You can, it's just so much fun.
Well, there you go. There's an idea for the rest of my yarns for the bed.
Yes, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can make them into pillows. You can make them into this. If you can, I loved it. I love the idea that it is something that you can do what you want with. You can make the point of mapping it out on a piece of paper if you wanted, right, if that helps you. Otherwise, just let it happen. It doesn't have to be important. It doesn't have to be anything other than what you want. It could be a rug. It could be whatever you want. You can just put it down and pick it back up when you want to. You can eventually square it off and it can be a blanket. It can be whatever you need it to be, and it can also just be nothing.
It's so awesome.
It is a doodle with yarn.
I love it.
Just have fun. And I think that that's the thing, is that sometimes, I know in my own personal life, when with all the decades I've been doing this, I know it's only 2, but still it's a lot for me in my lifetime, there becomes this expectation that when you're good at something, people want to keep seeing constant excellence.
Right.
Constant improvement, constant growth, constant one-upmanship with yourself. You're constantly doing stuff to do stuff. You're constantly seeing how much more you can go, how much farther you can make it. And in some ways that's fun, because you are just kind of competing with yourself. But then there's other times when you just want to have fun with no strings attached. And I find this just so cool. I've literally looked it up, freeform crochet. There's different videos that people are doing online, on YouTube, on TikTok, on a lot of different places are doing this. They're making clothes and making different items with it. I found different people doing stuff on different, like those a lot of these photos that I saw on Google Images led to like different platform, different websites that were just having conversations about how they were making their freeform crochets, okay, and what they were using them for and what they were trying to do. Because some of them look like DNA blobs or like germ, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You can do. And you can see what people are making them with. And look at, some of them were just free-forming it and making art. They were making faces. They were making animals. They were making this. I think that this is an opportunity, if you want to see what you can do.
Right. I'm keeping this paper so I can look it up later.
Okay. So I just want to inspire you. Sometimes it doesn't have to be serious.
And it shouldn't be.
And because, like, I like to make 3D items. I like to kind of like make things with shape. But for someone who might not want to do that and are used to still doing 2D stuff where it's like a blanket and it's flat and it just moves with you, this might just be your way of being able to have your own doodle without having to make a shape that's like, oh, how do I do this?
And my idea is maybe you could do 2 yarns at a time. Mm-hmm. Or, you could stick with your one and then keep changing if you want to.
But think about this, Mom. If you maintain a thickness, you can go from different types of yarns. Especially if you start with 2, maybe you get a blanket yarn that's thicker, that's the same thickness as 1, and you just keep going and keep changing the texture. You keep changing the rhythm. Yeah. You keep, like...
The ply of the yarn.
The ply, the material of the yarn. Yeah. Make it so that it's very sensory oriented. I can imagine, especially if you're like a a preschool teacher or a special eds teacher, or maybe you have children in your life that are very high sensitive needs, or maybe a baby blanket. Ooh. That would be such good visual stimuli, and especially if it kept going from different things, you could have it be a mat that's safe for them and they can keep feeling and observing, and then you can teach them to follow the lines, and it could be really good stimuli for them.
Wow, that is really cool.
And you can change it to having some puffy stitches so that they can feel it, or changing yarn textures so that they can tell. You can put crunchy stuff in it. Yeah. Even change it to, because I see people that make plastic bags into a yarn too, and this could be something where you could create a crunchy texture too, or whatever. I'm not saying you have to, but what I'm saying is that this is very adaptable, and it could be very fun to see. Tweed, twine, it could be an outdoor rug. Right. It could just...
all of it.
It's so adaptable.
And limitless to the ideas.
And depending on the colors you choose, it could go from different themes. So like you can make it look like a corn maze and make it look like it's supposed to be like a Halloween blanket, and you could hang it up. You could have like different scarecrows or different like jack-o'-lanterns everywhere. You can make it look like it's an Easter egg hunt with all the eggs at different locations of the blanket. You could... Christmas time. This could be a Christmas scene where you could put houses in different locations, so it looks like a hills and everything.
And all those things. Yeah. If you didn't want to make those, you could go and find buttons that are like pumpkins and scarecrows and all that kind of stuff.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing. If you don't like to start from the middle and build out, do one row at a time. Just start changing the stitches. Yeah. Whenever you want to go up and down, whenever you want to see it start changing and making hills, and you can build off of it. Yeah. Just doing straight lines back and forth.
There you go.
It does not have to be from the middle. Yeah. It can be however you imagine it. Don't limit yourself and just have fun. Just have fun. It doesn't always have to be serious. I know I say this a lot, but sometimes we need that reminder because we make our hobbies constantly needing to be practical instead of them just being fun. Because children, we let them do what they want. We don't just let them do what they want, but crafting for them does not have to have a point. We give it to them to stimuli as fine motor skills and just teaching them how to write when they're coloring.
And learning what colors go together.
And how to have them learn different textures and different things, and how to adapt to different... you have to be more controlled with paint compared to with crayon. You have a more forgiveness, or maybe a pencil or a marker or whatever. Yarn can also have that ability. You are literally coloring with yarn when you're doing this.
How perfect.
You are literally just doodling. Just have fun. It does not have to be serious. And you can smile. And you can just enjoy yourself.
You know what? I'm gonna. I got an idea for the next thing.
So I hope that you guys enjoy yourself and just are inspired to just do it. Just have fun. Because here's the thing: me and my mom are going on a road trip soon for Mother's Day. I think I figured out what we might be doing.
Okay. We've already got the hotel booked. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna have fun. Yep. We're gonna have fun.
I have a quote here, and it's a fun one. We struggled to find one that would meet the needs of this particular episode because we wanted the ending to be so fun. Mm-hmm. So it is: stress is just desserts spelled backwards. Mm-hmm. And that was said by Luke Seaward. Stressed is just desserts spelled backwards.
Here's the thing. Sometimes we have to make a choice. sometimes we have to think outside the box, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just have to pause. When something is stressful, I tell my kids this a lot. When you start getting frustrated, instead of blowing up, realize that frustration, when it enters your body, is telling you something. It's telling you one of two things. You either need to stop and pick up what you're doing later when you're level-headed and you might be able to see what's wrong when you have more time to think about it, or you're going to take a deep breath, try again, or ask for help. Yeah. Sometimes with things like this, stressed is just desserts spelled backwards. Sometimes something that we like to do can become a chore. And if we just take the time to self-reflect, we can realize just how simple the pleasure is again, to just give in to the creativity and give yourself the permission to pause and just have some fun. It's okay. And just like reflecting and mirroring and looking at it from the other point of view, kind of like was stressed going from desserts and doing it from the other way. I remember my grandmother used to say, have dessert first. I want to have dessert first. And this is a woman who died with all her teeth. This
is my grandma, her great grandma.
This is a woman who died with all her teeth.
Yeah.
And you want to know what I ended up learning in school? A dentist came in to do an auditorium speech and kind of do some interesting things. He was explaining it's actually healthier in society if we were to eat desserts first. Because if we ate the dessert first, then the vegetables would clean your teeth. And you'd be left with less sugar on your teeth and gums. He's like...
Wow, that's clever.
And he's like, and also, because of everything... And later on in life, I was also talking to a dentist who said, it's also good to do it that way because the quicker that you enter healthier things into your mouth after you've eaten something really sweet, it can help equal out the sugar spike by adding the stuff that maintains much more balance in your mouth and in your gut, so that the sugar spike does not last as long.
Or hit you as hard.
Wow. It's good on your gut.
Yeah.
And also, with that other stuff hitting your gut last, it allows for the sugar spike to enter you sooner rather than later, meaning that you'll sleep easier. From what I'm guessing, you would sleep easier because you're getting it into your body sooner so that it has time to process, so it's not taking you out as long. But it's just all these things. Sometimes we have to think about it a different way. I know that was a little tangent, but it's one of those, like, sometimes instead of just doing it for the sake of doing it, we take the time to realize that another way might work just as well, and maybe a little bit better. I'm not saying have dessert first. My point is sometimes we forget how simple one little change could have such a dramatic effect and make us fall in love with what we love to do again.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're allowed the room to just enjoy dessert first. Instead of having to earn it, we can actually just enjoy it. So, stressed is just desserts spelled backwards. Brian Luke Seaward. We hope that you guys enjoyed our little segment.
Right. And we hope that you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.
And until next time, we hope, as always, that you stitch your way
to mental health.